Who is that? I have a feeling that's Jaydub. Am I wrong? What's going on, man? What's going on? Hold up. I want to make this a lot easier, so I'm just going to get rid of the Google Hangout. You guys understand what's going on there. I don't think I need the Google Hangout there. Because I really wasn't going to
Yo,
have this.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear yourself? That's the question. Do you hear this nonsense that you saying on Twitter, J-Dub? Oh, J-Dub left. He's having technical issues, fellas. He's having oh, what's up, Luca? How you doing, Luca? Look, man, J-Dub has messaged me more today than he has all month. J-Dub has messaged me more today than he has all month.
Yo.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Oh, man.
Can you hear me? Well, J-Dub can't even get his computer working. I say it ain't so, J-Dub. Say it ain't so. How do you make me think that you can actually mess with the PS5 and how spectacular the PS5 is if you can't even figure out a mic situation? Let me make sure I'm not muted. I'm not muted. Hello? Can you hear me, Jada? Testing. Maybe it's me. Hello? Can you hear me, Jada? Mike's on me. J-Dub. We'll see. I will give him the benefit of the doubt, and I will rejoin. I will rejoin. Hello.
Yo.
All right. I accidentally joined as the ILP account, which I guess it doesn't really matter. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes. I guess it was a me thing, man. I was talking mad shit. It was me. We gonna act like that never happened, all right? It was always you. It was always you, man. It was always you. Let me figure out where Kidsmoove is. Kidsmoove taking forever to join this. You want in on this, Luca? Cause you know, J-Dub gonna, you know, I did low key invite Kidsmoove to be a little bit extra messy. You know, I needed some extra messy with J-Dub because it's like I said, J-Dub has not talked to me this much in months. This dude, he has got to the point where he will tag me in something, and if he feels like I haven't seen it, this dude gonna send me in a message like 10 minutes later.
Facts. All facts.
Hello? Are you joining? Oh, it's cool, man. Just join whenever you're ready. All right, peace. All right, Kidsmoove. You know how Kidsmoove is. He's got like 50 kids, but he will be on here momentarily. No, it's just there's no beef. I don't know why people think it was beef. Like for some reason, people honestly think me and you hate each other.
No, no, man. We listen. I don't have any enemies, man. No
Jaydub
enemies.
is one of the few people on YouTube that's got my phone number.
Facts.
He's one of the few people.
Yeah, man. No beefs nowhere, man. It's all
See,
fun for the
we
internet,
got to
man.
talk about you pulling up on me so much, man. We definitely got to talk about that because I'm sitting here minding my business. Minding my whole ass business. I'm gonna steal a phrase from Ash and Luca real quick. You know, I'm sitting here playing Destiny. And then bam, Jaydub tags me in something. And I read it and I'm like, oh, that's funny. And then I continue on my business. And then bam, Jaydub sends me a message with that tag. And I'm like, I saw it. Oh. Ashton said, mind my business as usual. Is that what you say? I can't remember the exact phrase. But we're not talking about that, all right? We are not talking about that. We are putting Jaydub on trial for harassing addict.
Oh man. I'm ready. I think I can hold my position.
You hold your position.
I
So
think I can hold my
Jaydub,
position.
right now, my question to you is, when you make that tweet and you tag me and I don't respond and you send me the message, what's the thought process? You was like, oh, I'm gonna make sure this man saw that. Is that the thought process?
Hey, I'm like, no ducking. You ain't ducking.
No
this.
ducking.
You gonna see it in the DM. You gonna see it on your Twitter feed. You gonna see it some kind of way. I'm gonna make sure you gonna see it.
Oh my god. So what you're saying is you assume I'm ducking, which I'm not ducking. I just especially like when you tweet me with stuff about resolution, stuff like that. The first thing I think is I have never said nothing about resolution, like not one time. And I'm like, you literally are tagging me in something that's not relevant to my conversation. Like,
That's true. Listen, that's true. You've never really cared about resolution and
now I
stuff
did
like
see
that.
you pull up
I
on
get that.
Diller and Colt. I did see that.
Hey, I had to mess with them just a little bit, man. It's all fun. And all it is, man, is keeping receipts, and then eventually, it's time to pull up them receipts.
Was it good receipts?
I always keep
Was
them
it
good
good
receipts,
receipts?
man.
Do you have a whole folder dedicated to receipts?
Hey, I got a whole separate phone full
You
of
got
receipts.
you got a whole separate
I got a
phone.
receipt
So hold
phone.
up. I'm sure you got a business phone, and then you
Yeah,
got a personal phone.
and
So
then a
let me get this
receipt
straight.
phone.
Like you sitting there, you just got through a hard day work. You sitting down on the hotel bed. You put down the business phone. You pick up the personal phone, and the first thought you have is, I'm about to mess with addict. Is that the first thought?
Facts. That's it. That's it. I'm about to. I'm about to. I'm about to change the game and mess with him a little bit. Got
uh,
to mess with you, man.
look, man.
Every now and then, every now and then I'll tag my boy King David and Cognito in there, and what I'm saying, try to be a little messy with them too. Just how we do it.
Apparently, man. Apparently, because
Yeah.
I've definitely been seeing you pulling up on people, and what's funny is I'm low key looking at like the timeline, and I'm like, Jaydub is going superset on this damn thing right now. Like, I've seen you be messy, but the past couple days, especially today, you've literally got I wouldn't be surprised if you got yellow hair right now, and you got like some yellow aura going around you, like you have straight went superset, and you are throwing spirit bombs on everyone on Twitter. That's why I'm be like, I'm low, I'm
Facts.
out. Like, the moment all this stuff hit the fan, turn my phone
Hmm.
around. I was like, I'm out. I ain't going to do this with
Facts.
Jaydub because one thing I will say about you, Jaydub, is you got stand 'em. Like, you will outlast anyone trying to do this trolling thing on Twitter.
Big facts. Big
Where is
facts.
Kidsmoove? Yeah, this dude gonna tell me, oh, I'm on my way, addict. I'm on my way. And then here we are waiting like 30 minutes for this dude. We're gonna go ahead and get on with the show. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get on with the show. The first thing that we want to talk about, and I need your honest
Mhm.
opinion because I'm a little split down the middle with this. I saw Ashton Luca's video. Shout out to her. Definitely go watch the video if you want to see her perspective as another Souls user. But apparently, Demon Souls was going to have an easy mode. And the question I have to you, Jaydub, is that necessary?
Nope.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you what's right. I said it once before. I'm not a Soulsborne fan. I never cared for the games. Bloodborne. I know it's a great game to most people. Tried it, got frustrated, threw the disc across the room. That was it for me. And I get it, right? I can get that there's a subset of people who love conquering those tough, difficult games and stuff like that. And I think you need to keep those loyal. That type of game, keep it loyal to the fans. That's what they bought the game for. If you create an easy mode and stuff like that, that defeats the purpose of going through, the trials and tribulations of the game. I get that. But with that being said, I bought Demon Souls day one for my PS5. That was the first game I booted up. Now, keep in mind, I just said I am not that target. I am not in that subset of people that love those uber difficult games that just torture you. But this game looks so beautiful, and it has the 60 frames a second. And that was one thing I said that was probably the issue with Bloodborne to me that was that kind of made it more difficult, is not only that you have to fight against the tough characters on the screen, but you have to fight for the controls, because the 30 frames a second, and let's face it, on the PlayStation 4, it was less than 30 frames a second in most cases. And so, when you have to dodge and stuff like that, that extra amount of time of lag, controller lag, and lag of the frames inside the game, that is the difference between dying or not. And playing Demon Souls, and I haven't beat it yet. I'm still on it. I'm going to do a stream tonight, more of it. But
I need to catch that.
Yeah, the game. Oh man, and the chat is always giving me directions and tips and stuff like that, like lock on and stuff. I was playing it. I wasn't using lock on a lot, and only because, again, that was my first time playing a Demon Souls game outside of the Bloodborne, but. They're kind of teaching.
Are you struggling, Jaydub? Don't lie. Are you struggling?
Listen.
There's too much of a pause there, man. You're struggling.
No.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay, man. It's okay to admit that you're struggling.
I wouldn't call it a struggle. I thought it was a nice little victory for me, because I played for a whole hour without dying once. And I'm gonna be honest, Bloodborne. Dude, I couldn't go like 2 minutes without dying, and so that was a big feat for me. I was like, damn, I haven't died yet.
I've played a lot of Souls type games, and I can honestly tell you that Bloodborne is one of the easiest. And what's funny is I be seeing people try to toss that narrative that Bloodborne is one of the hardest, when that's not the case whatsoever. Like, Bloodborne is Bloodborne's a lot more forgiving than other Souls type games. Like, it is a lot more forgiving. When you
could be right on that. But again, I'm not.
Did you beat Bloodborne?
No, I did not.
You didn't beat Bloodborne? Oh, so nope. You didn't. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. I
don't know how I feel about that, Jaydub. You cannot be this PlayStation dude unless you beat Bloodborne.
Listen, I literally just told you, I took the disc after 15 minutes, turned it across the room, and never booted up again. I literally just told you that. So no. Now. Maybe I'll try it again. If they have a 60 frames a second mode, maybe that'll help me a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'll stream it, and maybe people will give me some tips and stuff like that. But Demon Souls, oh my God, the game looks gorgeous. It controls gorgeously. The 60 frames a second. Again, I am not a Soulsborne type guy. That is not the type of game that I would normally play. But I'm enjoying the game. Even when I died, I'm like, holy shit.
When it comes to Demon Souls, what's the most challenging aspect of that game?
Ooh. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Kidsmoove's loud as usual. But what? Yeah, definitely mute your mic until you get situated, kid. But what is the most?
What do you hear?
Everything.
Oh, there you go.
Everything. We hear everything, man. We hear the kids in the background. We hear them playing with stuff.
The change in your pocket, man. We hearing everything.
But just out of curiosity, Jaydub, what is the most difficult thing that you have accomplished going into Demon Souls that you didn't feel when you did play the little bit of Bloodborne that you played? Can you tell that they're different style games?
Yes, I can tell that they're different style of games. But again, like I said, I only played 15 minutes of Bloodborne, so I mean, practically, I that was nothing. But again, maybe it was just the frustration of the controls, the frustration of the frames. I mean, I don't know. Um, but that's all I got to say about Bloodborne because that's my limited interaction with it. I got the game now.
That was one of my favorite Souls type games is Bloodborne. I don't know, like Sekiro Shadow Dies Twice. I honestly feel like that has to be my favorite just because of how the sound in that game was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But let's go ahead and rotate it back. All right. When it comes to Demon Souls and really this Souls genre in general, the way I see it is I understand people's thought process when it comes to we don't want any interference in the game. But my question is clearly when it comes to, I've seen a lot in the background when it comes to like adjusting stuff like that. That doesn't take long to adjust, the health, the overall health, the speed. If they could make an easier mode and not just a standard mode in Demon Souls, in Bloodborne, in the Dark Souls franchise, where it's like maybe you have more health, maybe they take you do more damage from the initial stance. Do you think that's a bad thing? Because to me, as long as it doesn't affect the base mode, then I don't mind it. Because to me, I do feel like you're gatekeeping a little bit if you feel entitled that they need to keep the mode that you've been playing.
No, what they should do. Here's my take on it. I don't think they should change anything. Is at least make it easier. But what they should do, which I think is a feature of PlayStation, what they're doing is they'll give you, if you die so many times, they'll give you like tips. They'll show you a little video or something like that. Or the developers have the capability of showing you a little demo, whatever, of how to tackle the different issues that you're having with the game. For example, if you keep dying in the same spot after you die 5 times, they'll show you like a little section of it of how to tackle that particular scene or whatever, without spoiling the game. But the ability of that being there, I think that would be a better way to do it. Because if I'm playing Demon Souls, man, and I'm at this boss and I can't get past this boss and it's frustrating me to be damn, and I done died 10, 15 times. Having the capability, right, of having a tip or something like that, I don't find nothing wrong with that. That's not really cheating. That's helping you out, right? Because what's going to happen is if I can't get past it, I'm going to get frustrated. I'm going to take the disc out, chunk it across the room like I did Bloodborne, and never play the game again.
To be honest with you.
I don't want them to water the game down or take something away from the fans, because whether you like it or not, it is kind of a niche. Even though it sells a lot, it's kind of there's a niche crowd for it. There's a crowd for it. And so this game, I don't think it'll ever sell like 20 million copies. But the fans that are loyal to these particular games in the series, leave it as is. It works for them.
But, okay,
and it's successful.
Let me ask this then. So do you think that if they did make this extra mode, that would maybe make your base stats a lot higher? Let's say people want to do the story and just they want, which I don't understand people's thought process on that. A lot of the Souls games have a story, but it's behind a lot of lore. But let's say people did want to do that. Do you think doing that's going to affect the game itself? Because I don't. I feel like if they wanted to put another mode, that it's like we can even we can call it like the loser mode, where you do that mode, you do that mode, you get you get no trophies, no achievements, but you can actually play the game and get familiar with the game. Because I do feel like that's one of the reasons that this game is niche, is because it's so intimidating to get into. Because a lot of people have never played these type of games, and when they play and they get rocked real fast, the first thing they do is uninstall that bastard. Kidsmoove, you there? And I guess he's not, but that's.
Well, wait, I'm here. Never mind. I forgot you guys made me mute.
I do want to know your opinion on this, because you have had battles, hell battles, left and right with these challenges, and a lot of them have revolved around these type of games. Do you think that and you are famous for saying you want microtransactions to buy stuff. You're famous for asking for some form of easy mode in games. Do you think that it needs an easy mode in some sort of way?
I know if they were to add an easy mode to that type of game, it would kind of change the dynamic of the game because it's not necessarily the same. It would be kind of sort of just generic at that point. But honestly, I mean, I personally won't be mad at some sort of like easy or handicap mode in the Souls game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not mad that it's not, but I mean, I'm not going to complain that if it was ever added.
And it's like, you got to keep in mind, like, I've beat the majority of these games. I think the only ones I've never beat is Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2. I don't think I beat Dark Souls 3 either. I played a lot of it. I just never actually formally beat it. I've even beat a bunch of the spin-offs, games that other studios have done. You can ask Kid. I've streamed a few of those. Like, and to me, it's like, I love these games. This is probably the genre that I enjoy the most. But when it comes to this easy mode thing, I definitely understand the appeal, but I feel like people, they don't want it an easy mode because they feel like you should have to go through the stuff that they went through. And I feel like that's form of gatekeeping. I'm sorry.
True.
Like, I feel like you shouldn't have to.
That's true.
I feel like if someone else wants to play a game, they don't want to be extra like you, and they want to play it and have an enjoyable time. And I get it. One of the issues with this game is people don't want the Souls games to be like a joke. It's like, oh, you beat Souls, it's that easy mode. They added that. That's what you beat that off. Like, and I understand that to a point, but part of me is like, if people want to add some form of easier mode, let me get this straight. It will not affect the base mode that we've been playing now, where it is designed for one playthrough, one type of difficulty. And the way I see it is if you can apply another mode for, let's be real, journalists, and the game is a lot easier for that mode, I don't see it's an issue. Like, and it's like I said, I don't care if they do it or don't do it, because I'm still going to play the games I want to play. But I do understand a lot of people's concept, because when I first started playing Dark Souls, it was Dark Souls 1 that I got into. And I remember I was so intimidated by this franchise. Like, you have no idea. It was so many years before I started this. Because when you're looking at it and you start playing it, you get frustrated. And it feels like it's an impossible goal. Like, that's what it really feels like when you first start playing. But the more you play it, the more experience you get, and the easier all of them become. You got to, like, the Jaydubs, the game. I definitely don't want to butcher your name. He says, I'm a Demon Souls virgin. For those people, getting into a game like this is extremely intimidating, because at least when I go into a game, I've had Dark Souls 1. I have a lot of Dark Souls 2 and a lot of Dark Souls 3. I've beat Sekiro. I've beat Bloodborne. I had these experiences to put on my back. Yeah, I never beat Neo, but I played a lot of it. To put on my back and able to get myself around situations. But if I've never played any of these games, going into Demon Souls, it's a wrap. Ain't no one ever going to touch that game again. That whole genre's done.
But here's the thing, right? I say they don't need an easy mode because, again, like I said, dude, I'm a rookie when it comes to it. I hadn't put a lot of time. I played a lot of Neo. I played Sekiro. And again, Bloodborne, I threw the disc. I played like 15 minutes. I threw the disc cross room. That was it for me. I'm out. I tapped out. But Demon Souls, I streamed a whole, maybe an hour and a half of the game. And I didn't die once. The first time I died is when I got to the first boss. And when I went through it, I was so shocked at how good the game looked. It's like I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to tackle that boss yet. Like I didn't set up a strategy of how I was gonna take him on. I wasn't ready to lock on. I wasn't ready to dodge. Like I wasn't ready at all. I just had this big smile on my face, and I was like, "Holy shit, this motherfucker's big!" Like. And then he came at me and he killed me, and it was like I was just laughing the whole time. I'm like, man, and but that was like that's the enjoyment. Now I'm gonna have to get all the way back to where he's at, and then I'm gonna have to try to work my way to beating him. And like I said, I'm gonna try to stream tonight. But I don't want that game to change from what the original creators wanted it to be.
So
That's exactly how they want it to be. And guess what? I'm just going to have to
and I
concede.
understand that. And it's like I said, if they could do it and they want to do it, I'm talking from a perspective that the devs want to do it, because Blue Point said they almost did it, but they decided at the last minute that they wanted to be more true to, you know, how From Software does it, and I respect that. Jabari says there are plenty of games that have easy mode. They can play that. Why should devs change their game just so someone else wants to play their game on easy? I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is if they do want to, like the devs came together and was like, yo, we want to open up this to as many people as possible. We're going to design the game around this standard difficulty. And after the game is done, we're just going to raise stats to give people that don't want all of this headache a chance to beat the game. If you choose to play the game on easy, that's a Jabari problem. That's not an addict problem. And all I was saying is I can understand why that would be something that they would do. Like, I don't care if they do it regardless. But I can understand how, and I feel like personally that wouldn't be an issue as long as they made the base difficulty what it is that's been in the past games.
But see, this is the problem, right? It becomes the addict problem when a guy like me plays on easy mode and I get the platinum in the game.
No, I said if you play the loser mode, we're gonna call it the loser mode. It's not the easy mode. I said that if you play that mode, you don't get achievements or something like that. Even if they gave it achievements, I don't care if people get achievements. I'm not the fun police when it comes to who has achievements and who doesn't have achievements.
Yeah.
Okay, so my thing is, right? And hello guys. Hello.
Yo.
Why I don't understand this mentality and this idea that everything has to be for every person. Like, sometimes a game's just not for you. There's thousands of games out there that someone can just go and play. They don't have to play Souls.
I agree.
And I understand that. It's like, I wasn't talking that they needed to do it. I don't care if they do it, because I've already went through my struggles with these games. I've already got the basic concept of how these games work. I'm just talking about a new player to these. It's intimidating, and it is. Like,
we've all been new players, though. All of us have been new players to the Souls franchise. Every single one of us. I was intimidated. I used to say, you know what? I play games to have fun, not be miserable. Souls games are very intimidating. But there's this guy on YouTube. His name is D's Nuts Gaming. And I watched him play Bloodborne, and I was like, this guy's a literal fucking bum. I know I'm better than him. So he actually inspired me to get into the Souls series, because I watched this guy who I personally perceived as a worse gamer than me, which, don't brag about being a good gamer, whatever, right? I saw him get through it, and I was like, well, if he can do it, then I can do it. And I was able to do it. And it was difficult, and I struggled, but I was able to do it. The issue with people these days is that they feel like everything should accommodate for them, just because they don't want to take the time to learn how to be better at a game. It's all about learning. It's all about patience. And like I said before, in my opinion, considering the thousands of games out there that people have access to, why do people who aren't even interested in the titles beyond, well, this kind of looks pretty, yeah, I kind of want to play it, they should add an easy mode because I'm too lazy to learn how to be better at the game? Why must they change what they're working
all
at?
I was referring to is if the devs wanted to do something like that, all I'm saying is I wouldn't be on Twitter saying I'm against it, I think this is bullshit. I'll be like, all right, you do what you want at your game, I understand. All I'm saying is, from my perspective, I don't see it being an issue.
And I get that, but I mean, the devs clearly this has been a conversation for every From Software title, and none of the games have easy mode. So clearly their vision for these games is to have them as they are. So whenever I see gaming journalists or just people in general who put all their games on easy, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't shame people for playing on different difficulty modes or whatever, but it's just kind of like, you have your games, those games are over there for you, and then we have our games over here that we want to play. And it's like, for me personally, Demon Souls was very difficult for me, very difficult, mostly because of the lack of shortcuts, but I was able to get through it. And Bloodborne was difficult, and I was able to get through it. And Dark Souls 3 was difficult, and I was able to get through it. And Dark Souls 2 was difficult, and I was able to get through it. And Dark Souls was difficult, and I was able to get through it. I was able to play every single one of these games because I stopped, and I learned, and I had patience. Gamers these days do not have any patience. They just want everything to be handed to them, basically. And my issue with the journalists who are complaining about this is because it's like, well, you guys are just saying this because you want to be able to run through it so you can get your reviews out there first, so you can get
That is true.
clicks.
There's a
You know?
huge issue
Yeah.
with reviewing
Look,
going
we
on, like a
look.
huge issue.
We saw these freaking journalists or reviewers playing Cuphead. We saw that debacle, right? Dudes couldn't even jump on. I mean, watching stuff like that, I don't want them to change the game for people like that. And I get it. I still think the best way to tackle that, right, is to do like the vision that Sony had with the PlayStation 5, where the developers can ingest a little small video or some tips inside the game at that point you're at that says, hey, if you do this over here, if you go around it this way, you'll be more successful. I don't know. I just don't think the developers should go ahead and spend a lot of development time creating a whole nother mode for people that may not even finish the game anyway, right? Like, again, this is not my caliber of game. This is not a game that I would normally play, but I'm going to play it. And I bought it for various reasons. I bought it for the graphics. I bought it for the 60 frames. And I bought it, obviously for the challenge. And it makes a great game to stream. If you guys have never streamed one of these games,
I've streamed Bloodborne.
The chat. I mean, the chat just kind of.
It's always very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I streamed Bloodborne.
And I wouldn't have got as far as I did if they wouldn't, to help me out on it and stuff like that. So it's cool. It's cool.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not like those gatekeepers who feel like people like, oh, you have to play this game in this certain way and you can't have help and you can't use this or you can't use that. If you use any of these things, you're not a real Souls player. It's like, dude, like they've included these options in the game. It's part of the game experience. I was playing with like Erica and Blaze and my buddy Sin. I was playing with all of them, and I am way higher level than all of them, right? And as someone who was just in their world helping them out, I was able to just destroy the enemies and the bosses like nothing, And I was just like, well, there's your easy mode right there.
I was about to say, pretty much you just put easy mode on their platform.
Exactly. It's like, there's your easy mode. Like, if you're having trouble with the game, get someone to come and help you. There's no shame in that. If you have trouble with the game, someone in to help you. Like, I know for sure that's what all I used to do when I was playing Dark Souls 3 is that I would put my sign down and I would go and help people because I like to help people in these games because people struggle.
I used to do that in Destiny, but people unappreciative, so I stopped doing that. But, it's like I said, like when it comes to this, I don't care if they would do it or not. Like Lucas said, people's asked. I mean, I can remember people asking Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2.
Wait, you can help people in Demon Souls?
Yeah. Yeah, in every of these you could have. I think the only one you couldn't do. Could you do Blood? No, you could do Bloodborne. You could summon people in Bloodborne. I've literally never summoned one person in any of these. I think I summoned I think I summoned John one time in Dark Souls. He helped me fight the one of the first times I played it, the Golem brothers, whatever those brothers are called, the one with the spear and the one with the I can't remember their name. It's been so long, but he helped me fight them. But that's the only thing I can really remember in terms of summoning people. You didn't know you could summon people, kid?
I know you can summon people, and I know Bloodborne you could, but I didn't know
you can summon people in every single one of them.
And Neo, yeah, all those games.
Yeah, they have a very unique way of doing multiplayer on that. Yeah, there it is, Iron Mike. There it is. That's I'm not even trying to pronounce that, but those are the two bitches that I was having a hard time with the very first time I played Dark Souls.
Ornstein Smo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think there's any issue with getting people to come help you out. Like, Souls games are a lot of fun in co-op as well. So, I mean, there's just, it's just no problem. It's no problem. It's just no problem. Like, it's no issue, man. It's no issue. I don't think every game has to be for every person. And that's honestly my opinion on it. And I may get some hate on it and this accusation that I'm gatekeeping, but it's just kind of like, this is what their vision is. Why should they compromise their vision to appeal to people who don't even care about the series?
I'm talking from a perspective.
Listen. Listen. Let me say this, right. I'm a big racing fan. I'm a racing simulation fan. If Digital Polyphony ended up making like a Gran Turismo to be like a Forza Horizon or something like that, like I would be so fucking pissed. It's not an arcade racer. It's supposed to be simulation, and a lot of people aren't good at simulation. They aren't good at real driving and stuff like that. So that would suck for them to change their game for people that um, aren't into the the simulation side of the racing and learning the tracks, the apexes and stuff like that. Like that would suck. So yeah, I don't want anybody touching my racing game. So I'm sure Demon Souls, all the Soulsborne type games, those people who love those games wouldn't want
I mean,
anyone touching their game.
and I agree because I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, and they casualized Final Fantasy. I think they started doing it around
15.
10, 12, 13, 15. That's when they really started trying to like broaden the audience that played Final Fantasy, and they messed that brand all the way up. But I definitely want to get off this. We've been on this a little bit too long. Luca, if you want to stick around for the console talk, you can. But
constant talk.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Let me hear what you guys have to say first, and then I'll decide if I want to stay.
So Jaydub, obviously, like I said earlier, Jaydub's been on my neck for no reason whatsoever. Most of this stuff that we're gonna talk about, I don't even talk about. But for some reason, Jaydub feels like it's appropriate to tag me in everything. So
it's the power thing, right?
No, that is on here. But right now, since I haven't really, talked to Jaydub, or I've talked to Kidsmoove briefly, the one thing I just want to know is like your general thoughts of. I think me and Luca and Kid are the only ones with Series X's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Jaydub don't have one. So,
No.
just your general thoughts of like the actual look of these consoles. And I think I don't have a PS5. You guys do. Like, do you think that the designs for both of them was pretty good, or do you think that there was stuff that they could have done better?
I like the designs for both of them. I prefer the digital version of the PlayStation 5, but I have a disc version because I wasn't beggars can't be choosers, man, and I was begging for the system. So, I was like, let me go ahead and get that disc version, baby. But I think they both look great, so, whatever.
Spawn Wave actually said that when he took apart the PS5, that there's nothing even holding that disc tray there.
It's not, yeah.
Yeah, he said he thinks that was put on there like at the last minute. Like that was one of the last things, and they're like, "Oh, we need to put a disc tray in this." He's like, "There's nothing even holding it to the actual system. It's literally just sitting there."
Spooky.
Yeah, it's floating by the little rubber things that keeps it from vibrating and making noise and stuff.
And I think that's the reason you're seeing some of these consoles be like really loud in terms of when you put a disc in, is because maybe that particular model wasn't set in there correctly because it doesn't have a certain slot. It's just thrown in there and it's shaking more when you actually put the disc in. What did you think, Jaydub, in terms of what the PS5 looks like? Do you think there's anything aesthetically that you would have liked to have changed about the console?
No, I love it, man. I love everything about it. It's different, man. This is some shit like I wouldn't have expected a company to like. This is some crazy shit, right? Like I'm playing mine right now, and it's standing up, and it looks like I don't know if you guys ever seen those contemporary homes where just like an artist kind of created some shit, and then the house looks totally like something like you don't know where it comes from. That's this thing. It's like. To me, it's not ugly. It's like a fucking piece of art.
I think it looks really
I'll put
cool.
it that way.
Yeah.
It looks like every generation they come out with these concept drawings, right, of all these consoles, and we're always like gawking over them, like, oh my god, I hope they do this. I hope they do this. Well, PlayStation actually made like a system from one of those type of concepts or whatever, and it's different. And so I can't be mad at different, man. You gotta love. They could have went with a boring ass design, a boring ass color. Kind of like it is what it is. The Xbox is made for the Xbox crowd. The PlayStation is made for the PlayStation crowd. I feel like the Xbox is basically they just stuck a block. It's just like a very basic design. It works. The functionality works of it, and it fits the crowd, its target audience.
So out of curiosity.
All right, I'll head out. See you guys later.
Out of curiosity, I'll get to you in a second, Kid. The DualSense. I want to focus on the DualSense real quick. When the DualSense was announced, now first off, I want to say is it does look like the better controller this gen. Not necessarily me using it, just next gen features that would make and highlight a game in general. But I did see skill up game, or I can't remember his actual name on Twitter. It's something along those lines. He said he was playing Call of Duty, and he pressed down on it too hard or something like that. And now that force thing that will force the triggers to have like a real repel. Now the controller doesn't that feature doesn't work, and the trigger is extremely sensitive. Do you think that this is going to be an issue that happens? Because to me, like, you know, when you play these reflex shooters, Jaydub, you can't act like that trigger is going to stop you from pressing that shit down. Like,
Nah, what it is, it's a motor. It's a motor connected to them. So what you're pulling down on is a little. It's like not a spring, but if you ever seen an unboxing, they show you exactly how it works. But I don't think it's a big problem. He's like the only guy that I know that said that they had an issue or whatever with it. It's okay. Any new technology, any new system, any new console, any new controller comes out, you're gonna have problems. We had problems with the PS4. We had problems with the Xbox One. It happens. It happened with the PS2, PS3. It happened with the Xbox One, the OG Xbox. It is what it is. I just think
it
gamers
is
now
what
just
it is.
get. We have to, and this is kind of the downside of like social media, right? Is we have to decipher the reality versus the bullshit because it's very lucrative, right? To say say something false and make a couple of videos on it and get some hits, and then you turn around the next week, do the same thing with the opposite stuff. And so, I don't know. It is what it is. I don't know. Sucks for him. Mine's is working fine. I'm okay. I think majority of people
I don't think that it broke because his controller was like messed up. I think it broke because he panic shot someone and he messed up the motor that was doing that certain trigger. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like if you have technology in there to stop that trigger from being pressed to a certain point because of how the game is programmed, like you're not gonna, that controller's not stopping you from pressing that down if you panic something. Like in Destiny, all the time, like when people would pop up, all the time, I'll like panic a grenade or something.
Here's the thing, right? I got the DualSense in my hand. The trigger, there's a half an inch of play, right? You can't go any further than that because the plastic on the back of the controller will only allow you to go down so much. So how hard did he pull down from a half an inch? I have no clue, but I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. I haven't had any issues with it. I love the controller for it because each gun feels different. When you run out of bullets and stuff, the trigger jam, you got to reload. I don't know. I don't know that guy's problem, and if it's going to happen to me or somebody else, I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely understand. I want to get to Kidsmoove. Kidsmoove's been very vocal about his opinions on certain things on Twitter. I'm sure you've seen it, Jaydub. And definitely first I'll give you impressions of the consoles, kid. You actually, people like to make fun of you, say you're an Xbox, et cetera, say you're a corporate slave, but you have both, which I can't say for most people. Most of these people be sitting out here on Twitter and they'll be capping for these platforms that they don't even own. So, what I want from you is your general ideal and the aesthetics of the consoles, and then talk a little bit about your experience with the DualSense controller.
Yeah. So, obviously, we start with the Xbox since I did a review for that and a sexy unboxing for it. I'm a big fan of the Xbox Series X form factor, the shape. I like how it stands. It's wide. It looks nice on my desk. It's just a cool design, man. I look at it every day, looking at the top of the fan and everything. It's just a cool concept. And same with the Series S. I find both form factors. I thought that when I saw the Series S before it came out, I was like, all right, this little ugly thing. I don't really care for it. But when you have it in your hands and in person, it's just a very cool console to have. The PlayStation 5 itself, it's a cool futuristic looking console. I'm just not a fan of the size. If it could have been this same exact form factor and shape, and if it was smaller, I think I'd like it a lot more. But it is taking up a lot of real estate, and I don't have even if I want to plug this into my TV in both rooms, I would have to either buy a new setup, whether if I wanted to lay it down or stand it up, I have to buy a new setup or I have to put it on the floor, and I don't want to put any of these consoles on the floor. So,
Yeah.
But overall, the PlayStation itself is also a dope console. I see it, but I still can't believe it's here. As far, do you want me to go into the DualSense or
Yeah, go ahead and go to the DualSense, because believe it or not, like I see these DualSense and I'm really curious about the DualSense. Obviously, I don't have the controller yet. It had multiple conditions why I don't have the system yet, but I'm going to get it, and that is one of the things that I see is that DualSync really makes me want to try that out, because I'm a fan of technology that improves gaming, and I do think the DualSense is going to do just that.
Yeah.
Go. You talk about the DualSense controller.
Oh yeah. So the DualSense, personally, damn, I already got it dirty. Oh, I'm looking at the back of it because I was playing Spider-Man. But I got two of them. But the DualSense itself, I think it's a cool controller in terms of how it feels in my hand. Being obviously primarily playing on Xbox, I like how I guess the weight and the width and the size of the Xbox controller, so it feels right at home. I don't find my fingers like touching each other and whatnot. It in terms of a controller is my favorite so far. It's my favorite PlayStation controller. I know everybody's like kind of on the high of the like the haptics and all that other stuff. Right now, I've only been playing like 2 games, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, which it takes advantage of it, but it's not overdoing it. Astrobot is like kind of the best example. It's a killer app for the controller, and it's doing a lot of cool things. It's a lot of tech in the controller. I do appreciate it. It's definitely the de facto the best features I've ever seen or ever experienced in the controller. I'm not ready to call it the best controller like ever because believe it or not, I still have a great deal of admiration for the Xbox controller, especially the new one that they just got out. But in terms of features, the DualSense kind of blows any other controller out of the water in terms of functionality. But in terms of like gamepad and just that comfortability and feel like a standard controller I would rather play with, I'm still giving that to the series, but I'm not like hating on the controller. It's a dope controller, and it's hopefully developers take advantage of it, and if they take advantage of that, hopefully they take advantage of at least the rumble triggers in the Xbox controller. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
All right, let me give my thoughts. All right, so first off, obviously, I like the way the PlayStation looks. I do not like the size. Right now, my Xbox Series X, because I have my, give me 1 second. I have my Series X on my table beside me. It's on my computer desk. It's on the far right. Now, I have my computer, my TV. I have it mounted on the wall above my computer. Now, it does clear my monitor, my rig. The actual size of my rig, because my rig's on my desk. But it barely clears it. Now, my thing is, now the Series X, it's got maybe half the Series X before it touches the bottom of my TV. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think if I put that PS5 right beside it, it's going to be mad close. And if I because I like to bring my TV forward when I watch TV on my bed, I feel like it's going to touch that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how tall it is. I'd have to actually get it in my hand. But part of me feels like in my build, it's going to be a problem. Like, I would have to actually get like a little stand or something beside my computer desk, so I would be able to correctly fit it. Or, maybe I could just put it like on the other side of my rig, because I don't need to really mess with it anyway. You just need the controller that turns it on and off. But that's the only real issue I have. I do like the, how it lights up. I like how the DualSense lights up. Now, there's like a little green paint on the top of the Xbox Series X. It's in the vent. I would like if that was an LED, if that lit up.
Yeah.
I think that would have been cool. Like, when you turn it on, it lights up. Now, a lot of people don't like the when you turn the power button, it has the same on notification that the Xbox One. And to a point, I can understand that. I don't really have an issue with that. Now, low-key, my mom came in from her boyfriend's, and she was here the day I got the Series X. So I had it hooked up. I hooked it up. She came in from the other room. She sat on my bed. She's like, "Oh, is that your new console?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I sat out line for 15 hours for it." She's like, "It doesn't look any different." And I was like, I was like, "Oh, I don't need to tell Jaydub that." But yeah. So obviously, you know, I do think there could have been a little bit more of an overhaul to give it a little bit more of a designated look, but at the end of the day, it's just a UI, and I don't really care to that extent to go on Twitter and complain all day long about the UI.
The UI is 5 weeks old.
It's 5 weeks old, but it's really like
it looks
it's
like the same.
it's no. It's not the same. There are a lot of different things, but let's be real. It is the same design. It's just it looks like another update, like that you would get on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I want to bring up is, you know, people like to attack the Xbox for its UI when this isn't the same UI that came out the day one that the Xbox One came out. It's not even the same UI that the Xbox One X came out. Sure, it's the same design, but it's not the same UI.
But you got to realize the OG Xbox One that was running Windows 8 for a long time, right? So that was a whole different. Microsoft was in a whole other different ball game with the operating system back then. Now this is Windows 10, different operating system, a different UI, but technically it's the same. It's for a lot of people, right? Just feel like it's the same. It's a change. It's a change, but it's still. I mean, it's still kind of it's Xbox, right? It's Xbox.
But do you think
that's not? I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Or a good thing. I'm just saying.
All right, so let me ask you a question. You're coming from over on the PlayStation right now. First off, I did not like the PS4 UI at all, so I'm glad they changed it because that was dog shit.
That's pretty much the same, but it just made you harder to get places.
So let me give you this opinion, all right? Because I personally thought the UI of the PlayStation has never been drastically different. It's always been similar to the previous one. It's just they've done slight things to make it look better. Like, you know, the PS3, it had like the downs and it was just text. It wasn't like pictures or anything like that, if I remember correctly. So, you know.
The PS3, that's when the XMB started, right? So it's not like PS2 didn't even have a UI. You know, PlayStation 1 didn't have a UI. You just stick the disc in and it is what it is. The PlayStation 3 is the first one that came up with that type of UI. The PlayStation 4 was a kind of like an evolution of that. They kept a lot of similarities. Even with the PlayStation 5, there's a lot of similarities. It's just a next generation version of it. It's just, I mean, I think they really did a great freaking job. I mean, I'm sitting here playing on it now. Going to the home screen, it looks similar. But what they did with the cards, what they did with integrating the store actually on the
all right. So
stuff like that is, I mean, it's.
Let's go ahead. I'm gonna send you both this link. It is a link to all of the UIs for the PlayStation. Okay. Go ahead and go to it, and we'll scroll through these because I'm telling you, it has never been drastically. They've always been similar. Okay, so why did that go to that? Every PlayStation UI. Don't go to that. Yeah, okay. This one's fine. All right, so like if you look at this, like you don't really see.
That's not really a UI. That is. You got the little, you got the music playing, and then it goes to the disc screen. Like it's like insert disc.
Yeah, go to this one.
PlayStation. Okay, I was going to say PlayStation 1 and 2 didn't have a UI.
Yeah.
I mean, we can did the original Xbox had one, didn't it?
The original Xbox had a UI.
All right. So let me go ahead.
Because you remember it had you can go down to your music, the utilities.
So what we're going to do real quick, I have it up on the screen, is we're going to go ahead and go over these now. Clearly, they got some really bad resolution ones, but I think this is the PSP. All right, so like as you can see in this, so where do you want to start?
Count the mobile? Are we going to count the mobile ones like the PSP?
Okay, well we'll start with the PS3. We'll start with the PS3. All right, so November 11, 2006, and first off, it looks just like the PSP, but we'll keep going because maybe that's this was the one
they got it from. Yeah.
All right, so they took that. Now if you look, it's like down. It's like that same line But like if you look down, it goes down after you go into that certain category.
Okay.
Now the Vita actually was different. It had a completely different UI.
The UI of the Vita was similar to the PlayStation 3.
Now I'm on the PlayStation 4 right now. Like I call this the tile of death. So, you go over from one game to another and then it drops down. Like literally all they did was have that drop down, have pictures and stuff that changes. They didn't do anything different.
Yeah. So
Isn't
I
the
guess
PS
I
know from what my understanding is, from what I can see now, the PS5 is going to have like tiles all across until they add folders or something like that. So whatever game you buy, keep playing.
It's a total right now of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Total of 7 tiles, or not tiles, but games that shows up on the UI, and then after that you have to go into your game library folder.
See, all I'm saying is like, look, did they change stuff with the PS3 to the PS4? Yes. But it wasn't dramatic. It wasn't completely different. They literally just did stuff different, made it look more presentable. Do I think that the Xbox should have had a different UI? Maybe. That I feel like that is definitely something that you can argue with, and I understand if that's something that might disappoint you a little bit. But to my point, and coming from the person that's on PlayStation 5 right now, you lost a few features. True or false?
Sure, of course.
So would you have preferred to have kept the same UI to maintain those features or lose them altogether?
No. I'd rather lose them all together.
So you rather lose them all together?
I remember a lot of people complain about the Xbox
listen.
One
Listen, hold on. Listen, right? Of course, you have your people who want things to stay the same. Then you want people that want them to change. I want a next generation. I don't want the same. I'm paying $500 to $399 or however much you pay for your console for something new. I don't pay to conserve what I've been like. For example, I have the same mentality when it comes to games too. If I already played a game and beat a game one generation, I don't really care about that game on another generation. So I that's just me. This is just my personal opinion. When I look at the PlayStation 5, it's an all new design. There's nothing carried over.
When I'm looking at
hold on.
Okay,
when I look at this controller, this DualSense controller, it's a lot changed on it. It's not a lot that carried over from the aesthetics of it, from the feel of it, from just the tech in it, right? And then when I look at the UI, there's a lot of similarities, but it's a lot different, right? Every single console that comes out. I'm not going to say bare bone, but it comes out without a lot of added stuff on there. And then over time, they add, like, for example, PlayStation 4 didn't get folders until like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
But all I'm saying is the reason they lost the folders is because they changed the UI. They haven't put them back in the UI.
I get that. And maybe they don't want it. Maybe for whatever reason, right? For whatever reason, it's not there.
I mean, it's not just something that you did that. You lost dynamic themes too. And Jaydub, to be honest with you, they charged you for those dynamic themes. So they literally charged you to take something away from you next gen. And I know what you're about to say. Well, some of them I got as a pre-order bonus. That's still charging you. You still had to pay money to get access to those themes.
You still have those. You know where to get them? On your PlayStation 4.
Oh my God.
I mean, am I lying? Like,
yo, he just pulled.
Listen. No. For example,
Donnie D.
No, listen.
We gotta call some for you.
Listen, I'm a big fan of Donnie D. By the way, I feel like if they would have stuck with their guns, they would be in a much better position. For the same reason that Apple took the headphone jack out of the phones. If they would have waffled after people start complaining or whatever, they would have never gotten to where they are now, where nobody cares about a headphone jack because they won't have AirPods and Beats headphones and stuff like that, right? You have to have a vision. You got to stick with it. Now, will the PlayStation 5 UI change over time? Of course it does. Every single console UI changes over time with updates. That's what happens. Now, will they eventually add some PlayStation 5 themes? I'm sure they will. Will they add the folder feature? I'm sure they will. It's not here now. Guess what? You have a brand new console. You have a brand new UI. You have whatever they gave you that you have on this console. They gave you that for a reason, and whether you like it or not, it is what it is. I don't think they're gonna go right now and say, okay, let me hurry up and change this stuff to add a bunch of PlayStation 4 features that they had back then. I mean, they said everything is new. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because I'm not that partial on all that stuff. I just really want the games.
Just so I state, all right. Actually, the next topic is launch titles. We'll get to that in here a couple minutes. But just so I state, you are okay with them removing stuff that you paid for during the PS4 launch title because Sony deems that it's necessary, and they don't care if you deem it's necessary.
Well, yeah, I think I'm okay with it.
Okay,
because you know what, I paid I had 7 years to enjoy that shit. I can't ask them to hold back progress or hold back whatever they have going for the future, whatever they're producing for the future, for some stuff that I had 7 years ago. Right?
You have never bragged about dynamic themes on Twitter ever.
I never. No, you'll never.
So if I search for you on Twitter right now, you are never going to throw out dynamic themes in Xbox fans.
Never search it.
I ain't gonna search it. I believe.
Listen. I've never bought a dynamic theme. I've never bought a theme. Now, if I bought a collector's edition and they come with a theme, fine, it's there. Listen again. I keep saying.
Part of me feels like I should search this kid.
Do it. I mean, I'll give you access to my PlayStation. You can look.
I'm talking about on Twitter. It's cool. Like, I get it. Like, but you okay? Let's say
I don't. It's to me. It's the games. I could care. This shit could be a DOS screen, right? The little black with the cursor.
Ew, nah.
And as long as I pop my disc in, and the game come up, I'm good. I need the games. All the other stuff is added value, right? If they add themes and all that stuff, okay, that's cool. That's fine and dandy, but I could care less. And I'll be honest, the best UI to me was the blades back in the 360 era. I love that. I wish they would have always went back to the blades, but they never did. But that's just me. That's, again, my own personal opinion.
All right, so now that we've talked about that, because we've beaten that to death, because I don't want to be here for more than like an hour and 20, 30 minutes, let's talk about the launch lineup. Now, obviously, I will give it up to Sony. They have the better launch lineup. But what I won't do is say they have the best launch lineup that's ever been in existence. I feel like all they really got is Demon's Souls. That's an amazing game, but that's better than Microsoft does, because Microsoft don't even have one. They have zero. But some of your Sony brethren over here, Jaydub, is acting like they have so much more than Microsoft does, when all in reality they got one game. What do you think about that, Kidsmoove? What do you think? No, we're going to go. See, it's me and Kidsmoove versus Jaydub time right now. Okay, so let Kidsmoove go, and then you can rebundle. What do you think about that, Kidsmoove?
What, their launch title?
Yes.
Honestly, I after some time of thinking about it, like really, really thinking about it, it might be, if not, I would say if not the greatest, or the second greatest, it has to be up there, probably the greatest launch lineup in a console launch history.
Thank you, Kidsmoove. We appreciate you.
The only reason why is because when you look at semantics, I was like, all right, whatever. Demon's Souls is a remake. All right, Spider-Man's cross-gen. All right, but and then what's the one game? What is it? What's the one game
Godfall?
Godfall would be, and that's the worst release. But when you look at it from a different spectrum, right? You go into picking up a console. Regardless of who bought it, somebody could be buying a PlayStation who had an Xbox before. Somebody last PlayStation could have been a PS3 or whatever. But if you consider, all right, Demon's Souls is a remake, it's just like it's a remake. It's not a remaster. It's of that game. It's arguably the best game that's on the console. It's a 90 meta. The last time a console game gets a launch game gets a 90 meta, Zelda, and that was a cross-gen game. And then prior to that, it was, I think, Halo for Xbox. So when you look at it, you got to be fair. A lot of consoles that got credited for having the greatest launch line, it was one game. that did it. It was when
Yes.
Xbox it was Halo, with Nintendo it was Zelda, and that was technically cross-gen. When you consider that, whereas PlayStation with this launch had a decent above average game in almost like in multiple genres. So you had the Souls game at a 90, you got Spider-Man, which is a good enough of a standalone, which is giving you what an 85, 86. Godfall, it's a 60, but it's graphically it's a tech demo, so it can show you how good the games can look. Sackboy, you got the platformers, you got the packing game,
Astros,
probably
Snacks.
But I'm not counting Bug Snacks. I mean,
it's an 80 Metacritic. It's an 80 Metacritic.
It's a great event, but it's. I mean, it is what it is.
It's an 80 Metacritic. I'm taking it.
But when you consider
take an 80 Metacritic, but wouldn't let me take Wasteland 3. Okay, I got you.
Sony itself, you have to think about it and be like, okay, it's not only the best PlayStation, it's easily PlayStation's best launch lineup in history. It'll rank number 1 because they historically never had amazing launch lineups. But when you consider it compared to previous consoles, it was only typically one game. Any game of the 4 games that launched out of the PS5 launch lineup, any of those games could have been the marquee, but they got 4 of them. So you have to give credit where credit's due there.
Thank you, Kidsmoove. Appreciate that. Lord Addict, hold that L.
Hold that. I'm not holding nothing. All right. First off, I did expect Kidsmoove to be a little bit more on side than your side, but it is what it is because I can curl both of you with both of my arms. I can curl both of you.
His opinion is very, very valid. He's a very honest man.
My thing with this launch lineup, and I'm a huge Demon's Souls fan. That's the only game that really appeals to me. The biggest appeal is probably Spider-Man, but that's on PS4. We can count that, but we can't count that. Sure, you get the best version. No, we can't.
It's on PlayStation, baby.
If I looked on Twitter, you have never attacked people when Microsoft announced that Halo was going to be a cross-gen. Never, not one time. You didn't say, "Well, it's on Xbox still." Wait, hold on. You never said that, Jaydub.
You gotta let me tell you exactly what I said. Let me tell you exactly what I said so you can understand exactly. So there's no way to mix my words and twist them up, right? I've said that by having it on both, that you were going to hold it was going to hold the console back, and I still stand by that with this Spider-Man. Even though it looks great, it's an amazing game. It got ray tracing and it feels next gen and everything. Yet I still feel like it was held back because they did make the PlayStation 4 version. I just have this feeling deep down, right? Hold on, let me finish. I just have this feeling deep down that if they didn't have to worry about the PlayStation 4 version, maybe they could have went a different direction. I don't know. Maybe that's just the way my mind thinks or something. But I like next gen. It's time for us to like shoot the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, shoot it and put it out of its misery and just move forward. But I get why they're doing it, right? Both companies have to do it because they have a large install base and they can't just kick those people while they're down, especially when it's hard to get a PlayStation 5, All
right, so the talk has been, should you get an Xbox, should you get a PlayStation, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's the talk. Clearly, if you already have it, that it's irrelevant. You already have the console, so it doesn't matter what's out for both of them. To me, obviously, there's literally no reason to buy an Xbox Series X unless you want, a next gen play on some of these games. There's no reason. I did. I had an Xbox One S. There's no denying that I needed an upgrade, but I can't act like that's the same thing for the PlayStation. Now, because they have Demon's Souls, they have a little bit more wiggle room. But that's all, in my personal opinion, that they have. Because when you come down to it and you ask, okay, I have a PlayStation 4. Do I need a PlayStation 5 tomorrow? And they're not a Dark Souls type of fan, which is a lot of people. Okay, even you said show yourself earlier, Jaydub, that it is a niche market, but it's a huge niche market. Niche markets can always make a lot of money and they have millions of fans, but they are indeed already a niche market. Now, if you're not a Dark Souls fan, is there a reason for you to upgrade at this current time, Jada?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Now why?
because you want to be able to play your Godfall, right? That the game is epic with the ray tracing and everything else. You want to be able to play that. And again, you want to be able to play if you play Addict, if you play Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PlayStation 5, you will know why you have to buy a PlayStation 5. If you play, hold on, listen, let me finish. If you play Astro's Playroom just one time, you will know why you have to buy a PlayStation
Astro's
5.
Playroom is definitely
Well, hold on,
interesting.
listen. Even the multiplex.
You can't even agree with this dude. You told me to listen.
Listen, if you play Call of Duty Cold War on PlayStation 5 with the controller, you will know why you have to buy a PlayStation 5. It's more on top of the games that I just named, the controller. And I mean, it's to me, it's a game changer. Some people are like, it's good, but it's okay. But I'm just giving you, again, one person's opinion.
Just in my personal opinion, all right, when it comes to the platforms, so your standpoint is from the controller is a reason because it really evolves and it's very immersive of games, correct? That's one of the reasons that you said?
That's one.
Okay, now your second reason that if you play Miles on the PS4 and you play it on the PS5, you could tell the huge difference, and that's why you should own a PS5.
Yes.
So can I not say the same thing about Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed on the Xbox Series X? Sure, you can use that same analogy on the PlayStation, but if you have an Xbox and you want to play the games at a higher fidelity, is that a reason to get an Xbox Series X?
Sure.
No, I want you to say that. I want you to say that sentence.
Sure. Listen, whatever reason you tell yourself you.
Oh, see, now you have to do the side step.
No, listen. No. Let me tell you why. Right. Here's the thing. When you have an Xbox One X, right? And let's face it, we wanted a huge step up from the Xbox One X. And right now, right, and I'm going to listen, I'm going to take time right now and give Xbox just a tiny pass, right? Just a tiny pass on this because
someone screen record this. He's about to give it a pass.
These are early games, right? I said a little pass, not a lot, a little. These are first. I know these are first launch games, right? These are first titles, and they're cross-gen. It's going to take a while for the X Series X to get its footing, right? It's going to take a while for them because they're multiplex. You can't control multiplex. Only the developers can control the multiplex, right? And I'm going to be honest, they're just going to do the bare minimum what it takes to make the money. They don't care. They're not going to go looking at every nook and cranny. They're just going to put the game out there, and it is what it is. So I'll give them a little pass on that. But I do not give them a pass on this is a brand new generation, not a mid-gen refresh. A brand new generation, you had to have at least one game. You didn't have to have
I agree. It's
five or six games, right? 5 or 6 games. You had to have at least one. You only had one job, one game. And they failed at that. So therefore, that makes that system where, like, for example, I had an X Series X pre-ordered. I canceled my pre-order a week before launch. You know why? Because I thought about it.
Man, we know plenty of people in this community that could have bought that from you.
That's why no, they still had somebody. Listen, when I canceled my pre-order, somebody else got it.
I agree. So
it's not like I was.
You're never going to hear me on Twitter or anything like that saying that they didn't need a game. Microsoft should be ashamed of themselves for not launching with one game.
Listen. Here's what I say, right? And this is a concession. They should have had, at bare minimum, Forza Horizon with a next-gen DLC pack. It could have been Hot Wheels.
I think
it could have been Tokyo. It could have been something that was ready that you couldn't play, or it was just ready for the launch of the X Series X. And they could have just rolled the coattails on that, even if it was a last-gen game, but it was a next-gen DLC or something like that. They didn't even have that ready. And so, therefore, it's like it made that system where I was like, okay, you know what? Whenever the games come, maybe next year sometime or whatever, then I'll buy one. But right now, it's not really mandatory. And then it makes it even worse that the multiplayer are running better on the PlayStation 5. That really kind of solidified some mindsets.
Definitely don't get into that too much. We're about to get into that here in a couple seconds. Iron Mike, I completely agree with you. Gears Tactics is technically a game, but it was already on console, already on PC. And let's be real, even if it was day one on Xbox and PC at the same time, it would be a little bit better. but can't sit here and act like a lot of people are going to play that game anyway.
Yeah,
For the most part, a lot of
niche.
people loaded that up to see what that looked like, and they
then turn it off.
dashboarded the hell out. Is that not what you did, kid?
I didn't even launch it on my Xbox yet.
Hey, I played it on PC. I streamed like 2 hours of it on PC.
I beat it
when it first came out.
So let's get into that. Let's get into the elephant in the room. A lot of places went into, the Xbox is stronger. It's gonna naturally run games better. So it has come out that games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, any other games that I should be aware of?
All of them, all the multi-platform.
No, it's not all the multi-class, dude. Stop it.
It's
not. It's not even like I'm not even. It's not even. Okay. Some of these games I wouldn't even bother like. Never mind. But go ahead. It's not all the multi-platform.
All right, so what games are running better on the Xbox, Kid? Hold up, let Kid answer what games are running better.
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't seen all the comparisons, and I don't have the same game on each platform. But I know that not every game. He's just saying that because of you can actually look at Devil May Cry and say that's actually running better on the Xbox because y'all are referring to one mode.
So
are we 4 modes?
Are we referring? Okay, when it comes to hold on, real quick, let me set up the stage.
Yeah.
When it comes to what game runs better and what game doesn't run better,
yeah,
is it a standpoint on at one point in time the frame rate's higher, but the rest of the time it runs similar, like, or are we going to like it's consistently running better on the PlayStation?
It's these high stress areas. Like, so for example, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, obviously, in the same areas that is stressing, I guess, the console, when they both drops, PlayStation performs better on Assassin's Creed. Like, so when there's a resolution drop or is there a frame rate drop, the PlayStation is either maintaining a higher res or a higher frame rate, or both in those same areas for Valhalla. And that's that. So that's pretty much. It's not like throughout the entire game, the game is just running like shit. It's just that they purposely go to the areas where the game have problems. Obviously, screen tearing is taking place. It takes place on both, but it's worse on Xbox. But the thing about Xbox is that if you have like a VR screen, you're not really going to experience that. But the thing is, not everybody has that. So most people is going to experience that shit because not a lot of people got like a top line TV or play their games on monitor. So, so Assassin's Creed, you can easily give the dub to PlayStation currently. The embarrassing part is that that's Xbox a marketed title, and
I agree.
Microsoft should have kind of went out of their way.
That's what makes it an L. Like,
they should have went out their way to like make sure, like, hey, let's make sure we put our neck out on there. We know they've done it before, like, you know what I mean. So that's why I really don't understand how they.
That's where
happen.
It's an L, because this is the game that they were shielding for. This is the game that they were saying, "Yo, this is the reason you need to play our console. We're gonna market this on everything." I'm surprised they didn't yank off the Halo that's on the console and throw Assassin's Creed on.
They did throw Assassin's Creed on some consoles. Some people got Assassin's Creed marketing.
If you're going to that above and beyond, Microsoft should have sent that engineering team straight over there to Ubisoft and made sure that their stuff ran like a comparison of like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't do it. Maybe the COVID thing, even with the COVID thing, that's still an L. I don't know exactly how this is affecting COVID situations, but it's just like you cannot come out here and state power and let your competition be better than the game that you're putting on every commercial to highlight your platform. Jaydub, I know you want to talk. Go ahead.
You know it. Okay, for one, the whole COVID thing. The same issues that Microsoft is having with COVID, Sony is having with COVID. So that's a non-starter. We can't use COVID.
That is definitely something that you could say, because how many games did they delay?
Well, when you consider, okay, never mind, because Microsoft is never mind.
I'm just being honest. Like, it's not like COVID is happening for Microsoft and not happening for Sony.
But I mean, how many
COVID
games
wasn't that bad in Japan, so. In
No,
comparison.
But listen,
it was
all
horrible in
these-
Japan. What are you talking
but-
about?
No, it's
I know,
horrible in China.
I know.
In comparison, when you look at who's the worst hit place?
Japan was
America.
Japan.
Like,
No,
come
when it
on.
first
Japan-
happened,
When
Japan
it first
was
happened,
one of
it
the
was
worst
China,
places.
bro.
China?
China
Where
and
you
then
think
Japan,
people
yeah.
travel to from China all the time, kid? Japan,
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why Japan?
kid. They
Listen,
shut
here-
down They shut down
they-
entire
yeah,
city
it-
blocks in Japan.
Exactly, dude. It was fucked up in Japan.
They
It
had
was
people
bad.
that was stuck at the airports for weeks.
Yep. Let's not forget those boats that the people were stuck on forever.
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is, right? COVID played an issue, but I'm just saying the reason I never bring up the whole COVID thing is because everybody was affected by it.
Yeah.
Developers, everything. So, you know, so it's an excuse, but it's not an excuse. And let's face it, Halo was in development for what, 5 years?
Halo
They
wasn't
had-
going to come out in any excuse with or without COVID.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
wouldn't have that didn't matter for regards to Halo.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Let's go back to this whole, you know, the whole power thing and the whole games running better on PlayStation thing. For a whole year, I have had to hear that PlayStation 5 was RDNA 1. It was 9 T-flops. It was, you know, lacking all these features.
Can we state for the
DRS.
court that Addict
no,
wasn't
yeah.
saying this stuff? Can we state for the court
Listen,
that?
Okay, maybe not.
Maybe.
We'll see. Maybe I need to go check my receipts first.
You check them all, man. Bring out the whole box of receipts. You ain't gonna find me doing anything like that. Because I've never
but
cared
listen,
about
but
about
it's-
power at all.
No, I get it. I'm just doing it just to kind of. But the reality is for a whole year we've been hearing about, you know, the world's most powerful this and that, and how much all these features inside the Xbox and how PlayStation wasn't going to be able to do this, and I just find it ironic and funny, and that's why I tease and poke fun about it, because I'm like, these developers and these people have been telling you, man, it's about the games. It's all that marketing term, RDNA, and this and all that stuff. Until we see some games utilizing that stuff, it is what it is. And I just find it ironic that the PlayStation 5 is not only matching for resolution and frame, but in a lot of cases it's outdoing. On top of having their exclusive games, their DualSense controller next gen features.
Their exclusive game, as in singular.
Well, yeah, that too. I just find it funny. It's just hilarious, and it just goes to show that. I honestly, I still think Microsoft got some major problems, man, and those problems stem from various things. I think there's a lot of people in the executive team that just need to go. They need to hire an outside PR team, and they need to do what Mikey Barra said. Stop talking about the power and show it. Like, I like when Jim Ryan and Herman Holtz come out and say, enough from us. We want to let the games do the talking. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here to play. It's games. All that marketing stuff, all of the RDNA stuff, we don't know what half of that shit is. It don't matter. Nintendo has been able to outsell the competition, being far underpowered. So I think it's time to put the whole power stuff to bed. And I get it. Microsoft needed to do something to rally their base because they really didn't have the games like that. But
They
right
really
now,
still
it's
don't have the
kinda-
games, to be honest with you.
it's kind of biting them in the ass. And I hate to say it, but even though they bought Bethesda, whatever, it's going to be years before we see the fruits of those.
And to
of
be
that
honest with
deal.
you, so okay, we got about, I would say, 15 minutes left. I don't want. I want to go from that topic because clearly Microsoft dropped the ball. These games should not be running like there is. I'm not going to let Jaydub continue gloating. All right, so we're going to move on because all Jaydub's going to do is repeat what he said in like 6 different ways. So I want to talk real quick. I didn't even put it as a topic, but I do want to talk about this. That it's looking like we're having more conflicting reports that Bethesda's going to be making games multi-platform. Kidsmoove,
Yes.
have you seen the articles that was in question?
Yeah,
What is your opinion?
My opinion is still the same. You know, they need to stop asking these dudes these questions until the deal is announced finals and just let the thing happen. Like every week, they ask somebody a question, they'll say something that's vague that makes it sound like it's not going to happen, and the next person would say something completely vague that makes it sound like it's a possibility that could happen. And then these writers will take that statement and then say, "Oh, PS5 is getting PlayStation will still get Bethesda games. Oh, PlayStation will not get Bethesda games." It's like, shut up, stop asking them these damn questions. Personally, I don't think Bethesda games outside of the the Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop and stuff. I think those will be the last of what we see of PlayStation new Bethesda games going to PlayStation. Of course, they're going to still continue to get support on like Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online. But I don't see it happening. And if Microsoft decide to do that, I think it's just stupid on them. And it doesn't solve the problems that they pretty much have. It's not. The thing is that
what is that sound in the background?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Astro White.
I hear like what is going on?
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't solve the problems. You still PlayStation is still going to be paying publishers to keep games off Xbox. You know what I mean? It's not going to change. So they say PlayStation not competition, but they're not friends because they're still hurting Xbox's pretty much content, the ability to produce content for Game Pass and stuff. Because like that's or in general for their Xbox customers to buy. If they sign another deal with Capcom or they sign another deal with Square Enix, that's another game Xbox is not going to have access to. So that's another game that they have to come up in on their own. Like, all right, so we can't just get this game for Square Enix, but at least we got a game that we can put out for Bethesda. But let's also put it on PlayStation. Like, why give them the edge? Like
so let me ask you a question real quick. Okay, now the individual, I don't know who it was. He worked somewhere in Xbox. I don't know what his title was, but he said. Now, when I read the interview, it sounded like he said that he wants Xbox to be first on to the Bethesda games to be first on Xbox and play best on Xbox.
And better. Yeah.
It didn't seem like he was defining anything. He was just stating his opinion. So let's say they do that. It's first on Xbox. You got 6 months timed exclusivity on Starfield. Now, I think obviously that's still a mistake. But if it is 6 months and it's a great game, which the Bethesda core generally makes Game of the Year games. No one can deny that. That's just how it is. Fallout 4 was a Game of the Year contender. It barely got beat. I think it was The Witcher beat it. Fallout New Vegas was Game of the Year. Fallout 3 was New Vegas. But how is it? Hold on. No. We talking this right now. All right. How is it that you can give Naughty Dog anything they do because it takes them 5 to 6 years to make a new game, but I say Bethesda, the core studio, makes great games and they take anywhere from 5 to 7, and that's an issue.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's like, I mean, these analysts have come out and said that Bethesda was struggling. Bethesda's
other games were struggling, but not the actual studio. And we're not talking about struggling in terms of that. We're talking about the quality of games that they make.
Yeah, listen, they put out some shit games.
But we're not.
I didn't say that. Metacritic said it. Right?
We're not.
You can always go back to the 360 era, right, and choose some games. But I mean, come on, this is 2020. What have you done for me lately? Is the name of the song.
We're not talking about all of the entire Bethesda as a whole. We're talking about the Bethesda studio, the one that makes the games that made them where they are. So let's go over it.
Okay, so we can pick and choose the good.
We're not picking and choosing. It's a studio. We're talking about one studio. We're not talking.
But here's. Addict. They didn't buy the studio; they bought the whole company.
But I'm referring to the people that make the shit I like. Okay, so I don't care what you like. Okay. I'm making what I like.
Cool. Okay, I'm with you now. Now
we
understand. Okay.
Okay, I'm looking at the games now. I will give you Fallout 76. That was a complete L, but they weren't. They were co-developing that. So let's just have a handshake and just have a middle ground there. Okay. You got to get a handshake middle ground. Okay, good.
Listen.
No. You already said it. We're going on. Fallout 4 in 2015. Was that considered a successful game? Jaydub, go at.
Yeah, I think it was commercially successful.
Okay.
I think.
4 years before that, the
Lord.
Elder Scrolls. No, we're talking
Okay.
about a studio that makes games, that takes time to make games. How many
Okay.
years has it been between Uncharted and Last of Us 2?
3 years.
Uncharted and Last of Us 2? When did
Didn't Uncharted come in 2017?
Uncharted
Yeah, Uncharted
4.
2020, was it 2017?
2016, May 2016.
Okay, 2016. Yeah, so 4 years. Okay.
Okay, so literally the exact distance that these games are in, but we're gonna keep going. We're not gonna keep going about this. Okay, so between
I expect this new exclusive PlayStation Skyrim game to come out next year. That's what you're telling me.
I think it is because in that
okay.
interview, Todd Howard said they're almost ready to talk about the game. And for anyone that keeps up with Bethesda games, that's not Jaydub, because apparently you don't, because you don't even know the difference in the studios. But we're not talking about that. When they talk about something and they formally announce it, it usually comes out a couple months after that. But I don't know, because of COVID. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Maybe they got delayed a little bit. Also, it does look like that they're going to be porting the game over to the Series X, so that might delay it a little bit too. I don't know. I don't have any inside information on stuff
Porting
like that.
the game over from where though?
From what the current
PC?
the current devs, dev kits.
Oh.
They're going to be making sure that they play the best on next gen hardware.
So
That's what Todd Howard said.
The games were originally being made for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Like everything's being made right now.
Oh, okay.
All right, so now so we was at Fallout 3. So 3 years from that to Oblivion, which was a game of the year, and so was Fallout 3, and so was Skyrim. So 3 games back to back was game of the year contenders. And Fallout 4 would have been game of the year if it wasn't for The Witcher 3.
Okay.
Continue. So can you admit that this particular studio, in the bundles that they bought for Fallout for Bethesda, makes quality games?
Based on what you just said right there, that's for $7.5 billion. That's an L.
Oh my god!
Let me tell you. Hold on.
Wait, what?
Wait, hold on. Let me explain my side, right? Let me explain my side. We've just witnessed, right? Sony buying Insomniac for what, 200?
But that's one studio.
Cinemax
was how much was it at 7?
No, listen.
Has Insomniac had one game of the year?
Wait. Listen.
Has they had one game of the year?
Hold on. According to what Addict just said, he dismissed all of them other studios and focused on this one studio, sir. So therefore,
I'm talking about the games that they can come out soon, not the game. Okay, continue.
Okay. So for $220 million, you buy Insomniac. You come out with Spider-Man. You come out with Ratchet and Clank. You turn around, right? And then right before PlayStation 5, you launch another game, the Miles Morales. And then you got the Rifts Apart, another Ratchet and Clank Rifts Apart coming. Like, you're able to produce, listen, within 2.5 to 3 years, you're able to produce 2 games that's launching practically at the same time within months of each other.
So
so I'm just saying the return on investment is better there.
They have a quicker return on investment. They made a better investment for them. But here's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing, though. I get you're saying like, but you're doing like, but ZeniMax is like, it's not like fair. I could see if you said like Microsoft versus like buying Ninja Theory versus PlayStation buying Insomniac. That's like for like. Obviously, Insomniac, is the would be the better studio. But ZeniMax, they bought a bundle of studios. They bought id. They bought the Doom guys. They bought the Elder Scrolls people. They bought the freaking people within people.
Hold on. Let me talk real quick. When it comes to Insomniac, there was a reason it didn't cost much to buy them. They were a particular thing where Sony owned all the stuff they had anyway. So they only really had to buy the studio Insomniac's name. Like, if you put Insomniac to the left and just Bethesda Studios, which was the studio I was talking about, to the right, it's gonna probably quadruple to buy the studio on the right than it does on the left, because the one on the right actually owns IPs. The one on the left don't.
Let me ask you this. Can I ask you this?
Okay.
If we can go back in time, which one would you have rather seen? Microsoft buy ZeniMax or Microsoft buy Bethesda? I mean, not Bethesda. Insomniac, and have or launch with Miles Morales and a Ratchet and Clank for Xbox. I'm just in alternate reality. Which one would you rather have?
ZeniMax all day long.
I would take ZeniMax still.
All day long.
You would still, because here's the thing, right?
Because they actually make the games I want to play. I don't care about Spider-Man.
No,
if you're telling me it's seven studios or one, I'm gonna take where I can get more. Like, not saying that Insomniac's bad, but you're saying if it's Insomniac or ZeniMax, the entire portfolio, I would take ZeniMax all the time. Now, if you said ZeniMax or Ubisoft, I'm gonna take Ubisoft.
Now, here's the thing about it, right? It's like it goes back to that quick return on investment. Right now, Microsoft has a game problem. We don't know when their next games are coming out, right? It could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years. We just literally don't know. We can only just guess. But right now, Sony has all these games, and then they have Insomniac. Insomniac has a 1-2 punch with Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank. If Xbox would have had Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank for launch,
they wouldn't have had Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank.
No.
Now you're throwing out alternate realities that it could never happen.
You have to understand you have to kind of feel me for what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying it doesn't matter. You can take who's the team? Fable, right? Let's just say Fable. If Insomniac could have took Fable, right, IP, or Insomniac could have took Sunset Overdrive and made Part 2, like, they could have had these games ready, like, really quickly, and then turn around in 2 or 3 years and have some new games ready quickly. That, to me, is more valuable than waiting 4-5 years. We just don't know when this shit.
So, just to clarify, let me just clarify something for the audience. You prefer games that doesn't take as long to make but are on a smaller scale, then prefer bigger games that's kind of on a medium scale, because you realize that Spider-Man, Miles, it's not Spider-Man 2. They've confirmed that.
They made Spider-Man
Ratchet
1.
and Clank.
They made Spider-Man 1, and all within a year and a half, 2 years, they turned around and made a Spider-Man Miles Morales. All while
so that speaks volume by itself.
Listen. All while the same time they were making Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, on top of previously putting out the previous Ratchet and Clank. That is productivity, and those are good quality, highly rated games. Now you can say,
but you act like Bethesda doesn't have.
No, listen. You can say they're not bigger than Skyrim because they're not. But guess what? They're only on one platform. They're not all over they're not everywhere on the Switch. They're not on PC. They're not on PlayStation. It's not on like 5 different places to play. So of course you can't match it with Skyrim. If these games were on every platform, they probably would be. Spider-Man would probably be bigger if it was on every single platform, right? I'm just saying, with the problem that Microsoft have, they don't have the luxury of time to just have you guys sitting there with a brand new console waiting years for games to come.
I agree.
If they that's what I'm saying. Is the return on investment would have been immediately. Like now here's the thing, right? Sony, since they already have their portfolio of IPs and developments cranking up, if they would have bought a ZeniMax, and they could have gave them 5-6 years to do whatever, they have time. Sony has time on their side. Microsoft don't, because Microsoft don't have time on their side.
So are you saying, just so I clarify, you're saying that let's say that Starfield comes out, very successful game, and that's not going. You're saying that gamers won't care. Oh, you took too many years. You finally got a decent game. We ain't playing it. Is that what you're saying?
I won't say that.
Gamers don't. Gamers are very fickle. If you give them a game to play, they're going.
Listen, Addict. I'm gonna be very honest with you and Smooth right now. Right, I'm gonna be very honest, man. As much Xbox stuff. I'm gonna be honest. The gamers in a whole don't really fuck with Microsoft like that. They really don't. They don't.
That was
And
this
I don't.
generation
No,
because
listen.
of the quality
I'm
of
gonna be
their
honest.
games.
Microsoft.
So we're
does
gonna act
not
like
get-
they didn't own the 360 during, like literally the if you weren't playing on the 360 back in those days, something was wrong with you. It was in every commercial. It's literally flipped. It's like I tell you, when you have games, it doesn't matter. Gamers are going to you. The reason Microsoft is a laughing stock in the industry right now is because they don't have those games. But if they get those games from the Bethesdas, from the initiatives, from all these new studios, the Ninja Theories, and they have the comparing software and the hardware, you're saying that that's not going to matter. People's will be like, you had your shot. I'm out. I'm over here. I ain't buying stuff over there. You're saying that it does not matter what they do, that no one's going to go back to the platform.
Addict, let me tell you this, right? It's going to help Microsoft. It really is. It's going to.
So
help
now
them.
it's not about games.
No. Listen. Let me. No. You put words in my mouth. It's going to help Microsoft, but you act like Nintendo and Sony are just sitting still, not doing anything. The next Naughty Dog game is being prepped. The next God of War is being prepped. The next Ghost of Tsushima is being prepped. Dude, here, if Sony and Nintendo just sat still for 3 years, they would be caught up because Microsoft didn't invest or do anything for 3 years, right? Then they would have their groove back. But Nintendo and Sony never stopped investing. They never stopped making games. Right now they have five Game of the Year games that's being nominated for something. I mean, they have 22 nominations in different categories. And that's just for 2020. That's just for this year.
Microsoft actually has more games nominated.
Hey, no, Microsoft has
Nintendo.
8. Microsoft has 8.
And Nintendo had 5. Go
Okay.
look. I looked at it. Go look.
Okay.
I'll give you a little bit of time. Go look.
Good. You beat the Switch. Good. You beat the Switch. Good.
And we're not adding the Bethesda games on. Obviously we can't do that right now.
Listen, my hats. Listen, great. What games did Microsoft release in 2020? I have no idea.
They released a lot of good games.
What games launched this year?
For
Xbox.
They released Tell Me Why, Battletoads, Grounded, Bleeding Edge, Minecraft Dungeons, Flight Sim, Gears Tactics.
Okay, those are PC games. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Listen,
so just so I clarify, it's okay for you to count Miles Morales because it's on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, but I can't count something that comes out later on the PlayStation on the Xbox.
No, listen.
Is that what you're saying?
It's on.
But Gears Tactics is on Xbox right now.
It is. It came.
Is it 2021?
It came out already on Xbox. Okay, I remember playing it on the PC.
Look at this man. This dude don't even know what's going on. He's
in
his little PlayStation time chamber. Don't know what's going on around it.
No, listen, because I played it. I streamed it. I did.
Ori 2. That's another game.
I did. I got Ori 2 on the Switch. It's a great game. I love
he had to bring up that Switch version. I see what you did.
I'm just telling you. No, but let's be honest. If we can all just be honest for a second, and then I think we can make major progress with where we are with Xbox and the industry and stuff. I just feel like, listen, as much as you want gamers in a whole, right, to just get off of Microsoft's back because they bought ZeniMax, get off their back, give them some space. Right now, you see everybody and their mom is buying a PlayStation 5.
I'll give you that. TikTok is literally
games.
There's a trend right now on TikTok about buying their boyfriend's PlayStations and stuff like that. There's not one like that for Xbox. Obviously, there's videos like that on TikTok, but it's not as potent as if you see PlayStation 5.
Mindset, right?
And it's like I said, the mindset is definitely in PlayStation. They got the whole domino set right now. Yeah. But all I'm telling you is you start releasing quality games, you'll see how quick that evils out. But you were trying to make the assumption that they've dropped all their marbles and they ain't never getting them back.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I have no faith in Microsoft, and I'm gonna tell you why. Right? I have a great I have a great point in believing how I believe, right? Because I've spent so much money on Xboxes and that vision of Microsoft and what they have for the last 7 years. It has not paid off for me. So I'm only coming from my point of view of it has not. I've waited, I've supported, I've did everything I can, and yet here we are with another generation, and they already fumbled out of the gate with having 0 games ready. Like I can't. That's beyond me. Like that's
I
beyond
agree.
anything I can control, right? So at some point,
You're
somebody has to step back, right? From Microsoft, they have to step back and look at the bigger picture. Look, we're selling and I know they try to tell you, oh, we really don't care about the sales. We really don't. Yeah, you do. Like, stop it. You care about consumers. That's just what it is. You're a corporation. You care about consumers. I'm a gamer. I care about the games, right? That's just what it is. They need them. They need some mind share, and the only way they can get mind share back is to start releasing some good quality games. Will they come? I'm sure they will. When that's going to be, nobody knows. And
and
until then,
I totally
everybody in their mind is going to be on fucking
I
PlayStation.
totally
And God
understand.
forbid. Hey, listen, Addict. God forbid. As soon as Nintendo drop their next console, people are going to forget about Xbox.
Well, people forgot
But
about
we still waiting
PlayStation for
for Nintendo to
Nintendo.
drop exclusives.
But hold on,
That's true. That's true.
let me go
That's
ahead and
true.
say something real
That's
quick.
true.
We're going to go ahead and
That's
close
true.
out here in the next couple minutes. I'm going to let you get your voice across, Jaydub, and then we're going to go ahead and close out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, Microsoft needs to win that mind share back, and the only thing that's going to win it back is good, great quality games and consistently, right? Consistent, because people are always going to compare whatever Microsoft drops, no matter how good it is. They're going to say, well, how does that compete with God of War? How does that compete with Uncharted? How does that compete with Spider-Man?
To be honest
That's
with you,
just
Jaydub, I only think the people on Twitter think stuff like that. The
I
hardcore.
don't know if
I don't think
Microsoft,
casual
Xbox
people
can
have that
survive, like,
mindset, man. They don't.
the daily memes though. I'm not sure, regardless of what they do. It's like
It's like until they come out with compelling games, and it's like they have been saying wait. I get that. You said wait so many times that some of these folks up here are literally going to wait now. They're not buying your platform. They're going to wait.
yes.
So, and I understand that.
I'm one of those
100%
people. Yeah, I'm one of
understand.
those
If you don't
people,
want to
yeah.
invest into the Xbox brand, 100% get that. But all I'm saying is we can't act like games won't turn the whole tide around. And it's not going to take.
will.
It's neither going to take one big game or a bunch of really good games. For instance, if you drop one, let's say that Wolfenstein, The Initiative, and Compulsion games, they're really good games. Nothing like massive, but they're really good
They need-
games. That's going to
system
start.
sellers.
That's
Addict,
going
they
to.
need system sellers. I'm gonna tell you what system seller is, right? Like, again, and I hate to keep bringing up Sony stuff in the mix, but that's your closest competitor, right? Listen.
Notice
you
how
can't
we
tell
never-
me that.
Notice
You
how we
can't
never
tell me
bring
that
up Nintendo because he knows Nintendo beating them at every corner.
No, that's the only reason I don't bring up Nintendo is because Nintendo is the anomaly. Like, Nintendo can release. They just released for $60, like Mario 64, right? And people bought it like hotcakes. You can't compete with that. Sony, Microsoft, nobody can compete with that. Like, Nintendo is its own thing, right? Nostalgia is like a hell of a drug. There's nothing you can do to stop that. Those guys sold like 25, 30 million copies of Animal Crossing. You will never be able to compete with that, right? But Nintendo don't. They have their own lane and they stay in their lane, and that's fine. But we're talking about Microsoft and Sony. They're competing for the higher echelon of gaming, right? The big technology stuff. They're at the higher.
And I agree. It's like I told you. If you gotta wait, I definitely understand that. We're gonna go ahead and close this out though because we've been here almost 2 hours. I didn't expect to be here this long, but I ain't made a video in a while because I wanted to play games. I've been playing Destiny 2 a lot. I played a little bit of Assassin's Creed today. I've really enjoyed, but I am about to get back to my regular schedule, making videos every other day or 2 to 3 times a week. But Jaydub, where can they find you? Especially, but I know where the chat can find Jaydub in my DMs harassing me. That's where you can find him.
Hey man, you guys can find me on Twitter at JDub City16. Starting to mess on Twitter, all for jokes and fun, man. I try to keep you guys laughing. It is what it is, man. Hey, one of these days, I would love for the tides to turn and be able to, catch a bunch of L's from Microsoft and stuff. It is what it is, man. It's all fun.
Where can they find you, kid?
Find me on Twitter at Kidsmoove and go to the YouTube channel and subscribe there. Still got some content coming, but yeah, just been playing video games. Next gen is it's real, man, and I'm about to take a whole bunch of more other days off to give these games out. So
that's what's up. And you can find me here. You can find me on Twitter at LordAddictIP. Now, anyone in the chat, Cognito right now is doing the last word. So, definitely hit that link. Go over there and tell them Addict sent you from the Addict Show. Go over there and give them some love because they work really hard on that show. I'm going to go play Destiny. I will watch them later about talking about Destiny because I still got some grinding to do. But definitely appreciate everyone that showed up. We had up to like 45, almost 50 people. I know it's a random day. I need to be a bit more consistent with when I'm going to do these. Maybe do them weekly. I don't know yet. That's a lot of commitment, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. But this is Addict. I appreciate everyone coming by.